Hey, this is Derek Caffe with Caffe Realty and Co. Black Construction. First of all, Happy New Year. I think this is going to be my first video of 2026 because sometimes I record these videos and I never get around to editing them. So hopefully this video will be the first one I'm able to go through and get accomplished. What I wanted to talk about is it is new year and a couple of new things are happening, both with me personally and a bit of a shift on how I'm looking at doing the channel. Some things are very much remaining the same. The themes about land use, construction, real estate, investing, the politics around land use, and just getting to meet people in the community. All of those things that I had looked to do, they'll continue. One of the things I did want to say is that I am now an elected official. So I'm a council member for the City of Austell, Georgia, Ward 1. My ward represents residents in both Cobb and Douglas County. The City of Austell is both on the border of Cobb and Douglas County. So yeah, an elected official, which is something that is not on my bingo card. The goal is to really push for a lot more economic development and things that increase the quality of life, things that make housing more affordable and give people more options with housings. I've been a big strong towns advocate along with Incremental Development Alliance. I've been a big advocate for people within the neighborhood, developing the neighborhood. So it's good to have a vote to help people out. And we need younger people running for politics because you need people who could understand where you're at in this life cycle, not somebody who was where you were at 40, 50 years ago, trying to tell you about a game plan that worked at that point in the United States, but no longer applies. Today, we are in a very different, in many ways, different United States of America today. Outside of that, with the channel, one of the things I did want to do is my thing was always to lead with the real estate brokerage because that was where I got started. Well, actually, let me go back. For anybody who's new to the channel, I am a licensed real estate broker, specializing in commercial and residential investment properties. And then I'm also a licensed general contractor. Many people who are following the channel, many of you only care about the general contracting part of things. I am a licensed real estate broker, but y'all don't be care. Everybody calling up, hey, I want to get my GC license. Hey, I need you to sign off on my GC license. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know you. We have no relationship. Just no relationship at all. I need you to do this for me. Random person who I found through a YouTube channel, and now I want you to sign off so I could go do my thing. So most people are more interested in the construction side of things. So I was like, why fight it? Just lean more into the construction thing. I'm still a licensed real estate broker. I have my real estate brokerage, my construction company, and my development company. From the channel, I figured it's easier to lean into what people are into. And it seems on YouTube, more people are looking for content regarding being a general contractor, what it's like, how they could potentially, and even though there's so much information out there, there's still a lot of confusion about what a licensed general contractor actually does, who needs to be licensed and who doesn't need to be licensed. I'll see things on Facebook like somebody asking for a licensed roofer. In the state of Georgia, there is no license for roofers. They're looking for a licensed and insured roofer. It's because that's what you hear. Oh, you want somebody who's licensed and insured, but they don't really understand what that means. Like a drywall guy, like, hey, I'm looking for a licensed and insured drywall guy. Well, there is no such thing as a licensed and insured drywall guy. I mean, he could be licensed from the perspective he has a business license, but there's no state license for doing drywall, especially as a specialty trade. So just talking about stuff like that, especially clients, just helping them understand things because many people are very confused with how expensive things are. With my construction company, we do new construction, renovations, and property maintenance. Property maintenance is a fancier word for handyman services. Many times people call you up and they're like, hey, I got a screw that needs to be screwed in. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, I can help out. But, I know that you think I'm just going to come out there for like $10 and screw in this screw and then be on my merry way. But, I have to have a certain limit, like a certain dollar amount that makes sense for me to even move. When you're telling somebody who has something that to them is very minor, and you're telling them like, well, hey, we have a minimum service fee of $350, which covers up to 2 hours. And they're like, well, I only got this little thing. I'm like, and they're like, oh, it'll take you, 2 minutes to get done. And I'm like, if you don't want to pay the minimum that we have, you're welcome to choose another service, but I'm not about to go out there and charge you $10 to come out and screw the screw in. And of course, people aren't calling me out to screw a screw in, but it's very small tasks, and it's something that sometimes they don't understand, especially because we're a licensed general contracting company that does property maintenance. So it's still an elevation of what, of what you may do with other companies, like a guy who's just doing all the work himself, where with me, I have in some cases I do the work, but many cases I'm hiring, I'm doing what a general contractor does. I'm putting it out to my subcontractors. And if the job requires multiple trades, then, I'm handling all of that. Depending on the cost of the job, I'm warrantying the work for a year. Once again, it's just explaining how the business works and the fact that things are expensive nowadays. So just explaining the business so people won't be confused and feel that, oh, I paid you so much money, so you should be able to do this, this, and this free. And it's like, no, nowhere else in the world do people do that. I think many times in service jobs, particularly, because there's no such thing as like units. For example, if you pay for a burger, you expect that burger. You don't typically say, oh, well, since I bought this burger, why don't you give me the fries for free? Because you recognize that, okay, this is a separate unit. But sometimes with services, it's just like, well, you already have all your tools here. You're already here. You should just be able to do this for me for free because I paid you, $350 for this right here. And I'll say, for me, if it falls within that 2 hours and the person's already booked it, then yeah, we'll knock out little things. But if it's something where it's like, okay, well, this is a whole nother job, like this might be 3, 4, 5 hours, and it's just supposed to be added on. And this video's not about this, so I'm just getting into a rant. So let me end that rant, and that'll be another video. So I'm officially an elected council person. I'm going to start talking more about the construction side of things because that's what people seem to be interested in. And third, I am going to be doing for the first time a flip. I've been investing in real estate since 2015 when I bought my first house, a duplex. I lived in one side, rented out the other, house hacked it. And then I've since then just been buying properties for rental and future development. I've never done a flip before, and I chose one of the hardest times to actually do it. Although I'm a very risk averse person, I look at it like I kind of got everything. Like I have the tools. I'm a licensed general contractor. So I have the connections, I have the tools, I'm a real estate broker, so I have plenty of ways to cut down the cost to where there's many people who will do it and they don't have either of those things. They're not a licensed real estate broker, they're not a licensed general contractor, so they're paying somebody to pull permits, they're paying contractors for services. I'm paying contractors too, but the difference is some of the stuff I could do myself to cut down on costs. I'm not charging myself the GC fee, or maybe I am charging my company the GC fee, but everything, all the money stays within the company. So my outward costs are less. Looking to do my first flip, I reached out to a gentleman who funded several of my other acquisitions for future development. I said, hey, looking to do some flips. He was like, we're good to go. He told me how much money he had to lend, and I was like, all right, well, I'm out searching for deals. That's one of the things I'm doing, looking to do my first flip. I'll definitely document that because I'll be super excited. Because this will be different, because most times I'm buying properties or it's doing full guts, but it's for rental properties. This will be one of the first times I'll be actually purchasing a property to flip. I'll primarily be looking in the area around me, Austell, Douglasville, Mableton, Powder Springs. I really want to focus on the area in which I live because I want to improve that area first. And I'm willing to put more into the property and take less as far as profit goes because I'm looking at the long-term viability and attractiveness of the area. That's something that I plan to do, to give people more than what they expect for the home. As the business grows, I'll definitely be buying rentals. That's the main wealth building portion of it. But it's just to increase cash flow. And plus, done a couple projects. And so one of the things you got to figure out is what makes you the most happy. I don't have a problem doing projects for other people, but I'm probably the most happy and in therapy when I'm working on a personal project. When I have a project where I have creative control, where I can maneuver it how I want to maneuver it, and you get the reward for that. That is something that really just, it's like my form of therapy. And so I really want to get into that, and that's what I'm doing. A couple of the terms of my loan. So the gentleman who I borrow money from, private money lender. And what this means when I say private money lender is this is an individual who has their own cash and they lend it out, in this case through a self-directed IRA. And then I pay interest on that. Because of the relationships that we've built out, and this is probably a plug for the Georgia REIA, GAREIA. I've had so many great relationships that have helped me out in many ways from this group. It's a nonprofit real estate investment group. And everything from some of my acquisitions for development that I've been working on for over a half a decade now, me getting my GC license. One gentleman from the group signed off on my GC license. So that group has been great. And like I said, with this flip that I'm coming up, we're talking 0 points and 100% financing. This is something that is a result of relationships for years. First of all, I've probably paid this person roughly $100,000 in interest-only payments over several years. I don't miss payments. I do what we agreed to do. I pay them on time. After time, you build up relationships. I did a video on how to raise unlimited amounts of capital. When you do right by people, they tell other people. More so when you do wrong by people. But when you do right by people, they tell other people. That's what he did. I'm borrowing from him because we have this relationship, but there's been plenty of people who've come up to me. Hey, I have $200,000. So if you ever find a deal, let me know. I could loan to you at great rates. I have $100,000. So if you're looking to add on to your development, just let me know. I'll fund you. It kind of goes with what the guru said. You don't need money to get into real estate. You need deals and this, that, and the other. It's a mixed bag of truth. But what they're not telling you is it's because you have a track record. You need a track record prior to that happening, because even with the current lender who's going to be lending on my fix and flip, before he ever lent me a dime, he had walked through several of my properties through just like me signing up, me being a part of the group, and then they're asking for tours of people who are fixing up properties, and I was fixing up rentals, and them having to come through and see the quality of my work, hear my story, see me over time, see me consistently over years. From the time I met him to the time he first lent me money was like 3 years. And that was because I ran into a deal and I was like, oh, hey, you said you lend money. Will you lend me some money? And that's what happened. After he ran the background check, I didn't have anything crazy. Do right by people and follow through with what you say you're going to do. Even when things go wrong, because things can go wrong. Best intentions, things can still go wrong. But you just have to follow through and let them know, like, hey, this is what happened. Sorry we're in this situation, but you follow through and get things right with people, and people appreciate that because everybody understands things go wrong. But when you're a person of character, that can take you pretty far. And I think it even happens with the people who elected me to office. I've been putting in the work in our city, trying to improve our city for a decade, like from the first time that I got into the city. And I've been advocating that entire time for everything from the Austell Powder Springs Road multi-use trail, redevelopment of our thread mill complex, changing zoning to allow for more flexibility for people today. That can mean smaller homes for people both getting started, younger people, older people downsizing, or just people who want smaller houses. Bringing back the starter home, multi-generational housing, especially with varying costs of childcare nowadays. Multi-generational housing is definitely something that's much needed. ADUs, that could be from, just helping to people to find more abundant housing and also earn income because it is expensive. So anyway, I'm doing my first flip. I'm an elected official now, Councilman, City of Austell, Ward 1. Going to talk more about construction on this channel because most people care more about the construction business than they do about the other two businesses that I have, which is my rental property and development business and my real estate brokerage. I'll still be talking about that type of stuff because I still like that type of stuff, but I figured it's easy to lead with what people want, and the construction piece is more of what people want. I'm trying to talk through the business of construction, talk about what I'm doing in the construction trades, and that's it. So hopefully this is the first video of 2026. If you are new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be posting more videos. I always think I have great ideas, and to some people, they find value in my ramblings. I know I'm my toughest critic, so just want to put it out there, and hopefully you find value from this video. And if you have anything else you want me to speak directly on, I definitely will do it because I have a lot of roles that I'm doing. But what I'm also trying to do is narrow down what I do more so I could scale better, because when you're doing 1,000,001 things, you offer a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What happens is it slows you down because you might not do any one thing enough to make a real fast process with it. So I'm really trying to narrow down what I do, especially because I have so many things that I do that are all related. The rental properties that I have and doing development and construction and the real estate brokerage is all part of the same life cycle of properties. So it's all just different parts of the same real estate investing life cycle, broken down to different businesses. So stay tuned until the next video. See ya.